Hey Math Fans, Test 12, Lesson 2, Swords ready, let's go! Today we're going to talk about how to estimate percentages, find the rule for a table of values, and write algebraic expressions, and it will be easier than yesterday. So we'll start with something pretty straightforward, and that's estimating percentages. When you're going to estimate percentages, it helps to have some benchmarks in your head. So if you know, for example, this is what 50% looks like, and that's not exact, but you get the idea, then that will help you figure out what other percentages might look like. The most common percentages to use for benchmarks are 1/4, which is 25%, 1/2, which is 50%, 3/4, which is 75%, and 1/2, which is 100%. And on all of these except the 1/2, I actually did just estimate. I know in my head what 25% looks like. So in my head, I kind of divided this into quarters and tried to estimate about a quarter. Same with the 50 and 75%. So if you know those, then it's not so hard if someone asks you to estimate a percentage. For example, if I asked you to estimate what percentage of this shape is shaded green. Well, looking at it, I can see that this is almost 50%. It looks like it would be about 50 if a little bit more of this moved over. And then there will be a tiny bit extra. Definitely less than 75%, but more than 50. So if I had to estimate this, I would probably say that it was maybe 60% of it is green. And when you're estimating, that's really as precise as you need to be. So if you get these benchmarks in your head, it makes estimation much easier. And that's all there is for that. So let's talk about how to find a rule for a table of values and write it out in an algebraic way. This is a question you might see on a test. What rule would allow the following table of values? So we have the letters N and M, and they have numbers. And the numbers are going to go in a pattern. So I have to figure out what number or what that number pattern is. Now, if you have a 0 anywhere, that makes it much easier because it's really easy to see the relationship between 0 and -7. So I'm going to guess that the pattern is N take away 7 equals M. So that would mean that whatever value is in N, if you subtract 7, it should give you the value in M. That works for 0 take away 7. 0 minus 7 would be -7. But I'm going to double check that it works for the others. So what about 3 take away 7? If I do that on my calculator, it gives me -4. 6 minus 7, if I do that on my calculator, I get -1. 8 minus 7, hopefully I don't need a calculator to know that that's 1. Yes, this is working out. So the algebraic expression here would be N take away 7 equals M. So here's one for you to try on your own. We have N and M, we have our numbers, and we're looking for a rule that would allow this table of values. It's a little harder because there's no 0. There's a 1, and sometimes that's a good place to start. So pause the video here, try to figure out the rule for the table of values, and when you come back, I'll have the answer for you. So I am going to start with the 1, because I always like starting with 1. That's an easy place to start. So what can I do to 4 that would give me 1? Well, I could take away 3, and then it would be N take away 3 equals M. Let's just make sure that works, though. So let's look up here. 42 minus 20, that should be, I'm testing this. So it should be 42 minus 3 equals 20. Well, that's certainly not true. So this cannot be the correct equation. Obviously that was pretty far off, so let's see what else I can try. I have to do something to 4 that will get me to 1. Let's try just playing around. What if I did 4 divided by 2? That gives me 2. That's not right, but it's close to 1. What if I did 4 take away 2 equals 2, and then 2 divided by 2 equals 1? That would work. So that would be N minus 2 divided by 2 equals M. That works for this one. Let's try it for another one. So let's try this one. So that would be, 42 take away 2 divided by 2, and if I'm right, that should equal 20. So let's find out. That would be 40 divided by 2 equals 20. So yay, it works for this one, it's working for this one. I bet I found the right answer, but let's try it once more. So n minus 2, I'm just going to switch markers so you can see what I'm doing. N minus 2 divided by 2 equals m. So that would be 40 take away 2 divided by 2, and it should equal 19. 40 take away 2 is 38, which divided by 2, if you had a calculator handy, is 19. Yes, so this is my correct equation. N minus 2 in brackets, because I have to do it first, divided by 2 will equal m. And if that's correct, which it is, then anytime I put a number that's under the letter n in this n place, it should equal the number that is under the letter m. So you can try it for the rest if you want, or you could just take my word for it. And this last one's just a review. We're going to write algebraic expressions, which is actually what we were just doing. So, Marianne found $18 in her jacket. Yay, Marianne. She went to the store where she found a book she wanted on sale for half price. She paid the cashier and received $12 in change. Write an algebraic expression to show the regular price of the book. So I'm going to pick out the important information here because there's a lot of garbage I don't need. So she started with $18. She went to the store. The book was on sale for half price. Book half price. She paid the cashier. She got $12 in change, and I want to know the regular price of the book. This is a good thing to do because just look for a second at all the garbage I didn't care about. I don't care that it's Marianne. I don't care that it was in her jacket. I don't care that she went to the store. I don't care that she wanted that book. I don't care that she paid the cashier. So really, that's a lot of stuff I can get rid of, right? It makes it much simpler. So I know she started with $18. She got $12 in change. And I'm going to say B is going to be my variable to represent the book. Now, if I said $18 take away the book equals 12, that would be accurate, but one important thing is that this asks for the regular price of the book. This equation here will give me the sale price of the book. The book was on sale for half price. So I know that that book price was divided by 2 because that's what half means. So all I have to do to get my correct equation now is 18 take away B divided by 2 equals 12. That would give me the correct equation. That will tell me the regular price of the book, not the sale price. So now here's one for you to try. Drew went to the same bookstore. He found a book on sale for $8.50. Drew paid for his book and then spent $1.85 on a donut. He got $4 in change. Write an algebraic expression to show how much money Drew started with. Pause the video, try to write out that expression, and when you come back, I'll have the answer for you. So I've underlined the important information for you here. So he spent $8.50, he spent $1.85, he got $4 in change, and I want to know how much money he started with. I'm going to call that D, because Drew. So what did he do? Well, he spent $8.50, and then he spent $1.85, and then that all equaled $4. So I know whatever he spent is going to be his change plus all the other money he spent. So that would be my equation that would tell me how much money Drew started with, because I started with Drew, and however much money he started with is the money he spent on the book, plus the money he spent on the donut, plus the change he had left over at the end. And that would be very easy to do that equation and figure it out, which I'm not going to bother doing because all the question asked me to do was write an algebraic expression, and I'm done. So that's it for today. Here's your review. Number 1, about what percent of this shape is shaded in. Number 2, what rule would allow this table of values. And number 3, Michelle had $40. She bought a hot dog for $6 and a drink that was on sale for 50% off. She received $28 in change. Write an algebraic equation to show the cost of the drink when it is not on sale. Notice the not, please. That's it. Do those up, and I will see you tomorrow.